What happened to feet in the air and smoky holes? I'm tired of being a rebel.
Hi, I'm Andree, novelist, cartoonist and podcaster. Welcome to my episode-by-episode review of Press Gang. It was going to be 200 seconds coverage, but this is a digital age and I don't have to worry about word count. With a few breaks for holidays, I'll be looking over all 43 episodes of Press Gang, particularly bringing my writer's instinct to bear in examining the scripts by Stephen Moffat, but some other elements of the production as well. Page 1, first broadcast 4th of September 1989, in which the paper is set up. Linda Day oversees stars and KDs while following leads to two big local stories: the building of a supermarket in place of a disco and a new toy range that threatens the safety of Britain's children. Page 1 is ostensibly part 1 of a two-part pilot. Director Colin Nutley took his name off it, but it's not dissimilar to the style of Bob Spiers, who set the series as house style. I think Nutley was a little hard on himself. So we should probably talk a bit about the series Bible, which is a writer's guide to keep themselves and other creators on track. Bill and Stephen Moffat created a series Bible which places emphasis on the town of Norbridge. The document offers suggestions for episodes that didn't happen, the threatened closure of a school trip beset by tragedy, and even for Series 3's wonder story, The Last Word. There are glimpses on characters like the absent Inspector Hawkins and a departure by Matt Kerr at the end of the series. There are two opposing gangs, the Nukes led by Spike and the Sets led by Spike's rival, Fraz. Instead, the pair are friends and we get the KDs, the knuckle draggers, the low achieving kids dumped on the top achieving students for mentoring. They're introduced right away. It's hard to say whether Danny is one. His laid back sleepy attitude is an attribute that Fraz will take over later.
KD.
KD Plus. He was in my maths in first year. They had to number his fingers to help him count.
I wonder what he did to get sent here.
Sullivan and Kerr's chat expands on the politics of this in an adult setting. The best example of the dichotomy of KDs and star pupils is introduced.
And now this incident at the school dance.
Spike meets Kenny, setting up the former as a walking joke machine and the latter as Linda's overworked engine and pushover. Plenty of clash between these two, and Fraz. Fraz is a KD.
And could you get something done about the sign outside? I don't think trespassers will be exterminated is really the image we're trying to project here.
That line is little out of character for the Linda we come to know, inferring she may have been less of a dragon before the Gazette. In any account, this is a good day for her. By the time the two clash, the script already crackles. Their first meeting easily earns its place as iconic.
What questions?
Well, like, name?
Well, I have a suggestion. Get your mother to write it on the back of your hand every morning.
This episode is of course all set up. In terms of its own story, it offers Star Wars guy and a not funny gag that stumbles and trips across the stage like the idea of what kids want on TV from a galaxy far, far away. A redundancy, it nonetheless illustrates Linda's penchant for treachery and duplicity and her investigation feel. So this brings us to special features, an element of each of these Press Gang videos I'll be doing, where we look at one of the cast and crew in detail. Julie was supposed to design a special logo for this section, but she couldn't be bothered. So this time we are going to look at Mr. Vader himself, Roger Sloman. By the time of page 1, Sloman was entering his third decade in film and television. He moved around a lot, often hanging about for 1 or 2 episodes at a time. His first extended run was in 1981's A Kick Up the 80s, a comedy sketch show where he starred with Tracey Ullman, Richard Stilgoe, replaced by Robbie Coltrane, Miriam Margolyes, Ron Bain and the TV debut of Rick Mayall. A trained graphic artist designed the opening sequence, one Peter Capaldi. When page 1 went out, Roger Sloman was appearing on another children's ITV piece, Saturday morning magazine show Motormouth. He featured in a show within the show, the soap opera spin-off, clocking in 28 segments. In the 90s he'd contribute to Bottom, Mr. Bean, Bergerac and EastEnders. He'd returned to EastEnders in 2012 and rather than his 1 or 2 appearances, which was standard, he'd be in a whopping 173 episodes. Sloman played Les Coker, a dodgy funeral director who offloads his deceased's property for cash. And in case you didn't know, as EastEnders, Les is having several affairs, lying about them, lots of arguments. At time of recording, Sloman is alive and well, aged 78, and working with the Diane Morgan and Michelle Greenidge on Beeb's comedy series Mandy. So let's talk about setup and the joint. Spike and Danny briefly encounter Mr. Slade. Spike's street smarts peg him for a liar immediately. We see Kenny doesn't like Spike, but he's a feeling he's a solid reporter, leading to a clash with Linda. Her upper class delusions show up in a wall of bigotry against Spike's potential. Then there was that thing he did at the school disco. Colin is the last gazetteer to arrive at the scene of white-collar crime. The script baits us he's on the paper to learn about business, but he's a KD. He was caught doing business. Academic self-improvement scheme for selling black market report cards. Page 1 takes a minute to explore Colin's depths. All that's needed really. But notice how Paul Reynolds already has Colin in place. The bobbing head, the devious grin. His expressions accentuate his looks which, if I didn't know better, seem like someone who wears face paints all the time. In the series Bible, Spike's first meeting with Matt Kerr would get off to a more fiery start when the lad is caught vandalising a man's car. This would have been the trigger for Spike's recruitment. I'm glad this route was changed. While Kerr's words are those of a diplomatic pragmatist, Wood's voice has a nuance of contempt which might not be believable with his paintwork chipped.
According to your school files, Spike, you're a bit of a total, complete sucher yourself,
So many children's TV dramas are very weird in, of all things, depicting adults. Grown-ups be cringe, evil or idiots. Roger Sloman's character is an outlier in that generally none of the adults are annoying. Clive Wood and his character are down-to-earth, multidimensional, straight-talking, not condescending. Kerr steers Spike back to Linda, while Kenny steers Linda back to Spike, the structure cutting back and forth between the two threads until the leads meet in the middle. It's a cosy reconciliation and fairly cheesy and easy wrap.
Linda, I still need help with this form.
Look, you can read, can't you?
Until my finger gets sore.
The idea for the end credit voiceovers came from John Calkins, producer Sandra Hastie's brother and Dexter's American voice coach. IMDb has Calkins listed as special consultant, uncredited, across all of series 1 and 2. The motif voiceover for page 1 has Spike asking Linda about the protocols of dumping her. Throwaway fun doubling as sleek foreshadowing. We'll get Linda's answer in episode 5, sooner than we think. All in all, a fair good episode. The dialogue is fast and witty, but with only a flash and dazzle, too concerned with competent setup to really show off. After all, it's page 1. If you like this video, actually I don't care if you like this video at all, like it, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment telling me how much you hate it and what a fink I am.